Yo, what is going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. So we're here to break down the official Avengers 4 trailer, all properly known as Endgame now. So that is the official title of this movie. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, if you guys have not seen my reaction video, please make sure to check it out. It's something, so please just make sure to check that out. If you also have not seen my Captain Marvel trailer reaction, check that out as well. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get into this breakdown. So the trailer gave us a pretty good look as to what we're going to be seeing in this movie, but what it didn't give us was too many details and too many action sequences. Well, not a matter of fact, not any action sequences at all. So we start at this beginning here with Tony Stark sending a message to Pepper Potts, which I will explain something that it's some key words that he said in the message that possibly could be talking about something we're going to see, including Pepper Potts. He sends this message, but what a lot of people are trying to figure out is some people were saying that maybe he went back to Earth and came back, maybe looking for Peter Parker, trying to figure out what's going on, but I would say no. But actually, Tony Stark is sitting down in the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, the Benatar. At this point in the trailer, it's safe to say that he most likely got on the ship and got somehow adrift into space, as he's saying here, and he's running out of food, water, and supplies.
Food and water ran out 4 days ago. Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning.
So as you guys can hear in the message he sends to Pepper Potts, he says, "This thing on? Hey, Miss Potts, if you find this recording, don't feel bad about this. Part of this journey is the end. Just for the record, being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue, keyword rescue, is more fun than it sounds. Food and water ran out 4 days ago. Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning. That'd be it. When I drift off, I will dream about you. It's always you." So what's key about the word rescue? Back around October 23rd, Gwyneth Paltrow actually took to Instagram or Twitter, I believe, and posted this picture of her in some type of Iron Man gear. For those of you guys who do not know, in the comic books, Pepper Potts actually takes on a persona by the name of Rescue. The suit's equipped with force field and is made to do rescue missions, as the name implies. So one major theory would be that Pepper Potts does in fact receive this message from Tony Stark and gets into one of these suits, which is probably made by Tony Stark for this purpose, for emergencies, just in case he does happen to be lost and Pepper Potts does need to find him. So this may be a great look as to what we could be seeing from Pepper Potts. Maybe she goes out into space and somehow finds Tony Stark and brings him back down to Earth. So after all of that, we transition into this scene and we see Thanos' body armor. This man has this thing laid out like some type of scarecrow or something like that, but we can assume this man is just off on this planet just farming and chilling and growing space papayas and crap. So as we can see in the shot, he still has the burnt gauntlet on, so this, we can probably just assume that this takes place directly right after he, transports himself from Earth to this specific spot, wherever he is. It has not been actually clarified as to where he is, what planet he's on. At least I never came across it. If you guys know exactly what planet he's on, let me know in the comment section down below. Then we get a shot of the Avengers home base, and then we cut to Steve Rogers sitting down crying. Now, in my trailer reaction, I was really sad to see this. He's obviously crying because he lost his friend Bucky. He lost pretty much half of his teammates, and things did not go as planned. No one knows where Tony is. No one knows where anyone is. Vision is dead. Everyone is gone. Everyone and everything is gone, including his beard. We don't often see Cap cry too much because he's always smiling and always saving the day, but this is going to be tough to see in the theaters because this man has just literally lost everything that is close to him. He's already lost Peggy Carter, which there's two surrounding theories surrounding Peggy Carter, which we will talk about when we get to that point. But he's lost Peggy, he's lost a lot of people in his life. Bucky was his closest friend, and to just lose him and to everyone else, of course he's gonna be crying. He misses everyone, and he's now at this point in his life, and everyone that's remaining is now at this point where they just don't know what to do. They've done everything that they possibly could have done up until this point, and there's just no plans. So while all this is going on, we hear Black Widow talking about Thanos did what he said he was going to do, and he got rid of 50% of all living things. Now we shoot to this shot here, and I didn't notice it the first time that I've seen the trailer, but after a couple watches, we notice here Mark Ruffalo's character is watching the missing persons files or list, and we see Scott Lang, and shortly in the right-hand corner of the screen, we see Shuri, and then right before we see Peter Parker. Now there's been especially a theory that I kind of wanted to go with, that Shuri would somehow take on temporarily the Black Panther position as she does in the comic books. However, we can just confirm this right now that Shuri is like nowhere to be seen and nowhere to be found in this movie. So we lost the king and the princess of Wakanda. So there's no leaders right now in Wakanda, which makes me think, who is going to be taking on the leadership role for those people that's left in Wakanda? Is it going to be Okoye? Is it going to be M'Baku? Who is it going to be? So we can just throw out the Shuri Black Panther theory right now because it's confirmed that she's missing. So in this section here, we hear Steve talking about we lost all of us, we lost friends, and we lost family. Now this is a big theory going on right now. We see the first official imagery or video of Clint Barton as Ronin. In the comic books, Clint Barton actually becomes Ronin after he's resurrected and something traumatic happened in his life, and he wanted to take on a new identity. He did not feel comfortable taking on his original Hawkeye identity. So in the narration, the key narration here, Steve Rogers says, "We lost friends and we lost family," and cuts straight to a shot of Clint Barton. One can speculate and theorize that Clint Barton most likely lost his entire family in the snapping. Is that what we're gonna call it now, the snapping? And remember, Clint made a deal after the events in Civil War that he's gonna, that allowed him to go back with his family. So he was not really doing anything in this world, this superhero, Shield stuff, Avengers things. He put that aside. So he had no plans of actually getting back into this world. But obviously, how he would get right back into this entire thing is the passing or the just random disappearance of his family. You would go crazy. We see a shot of him in Japan, and it appears he just fought 3 people, and he just pulls off this hood, and he looks very distraught. He looks like he's not himself. And in that moment as well, Steve Rogers also said, "We lost a part of ourselves." And we get to a shot of Black Widow looking at him, because remember, they are close friends, so of course she's gonna go out and look out for him and see where he's at. So we see Captain America in his Winter Soldier suit right here, face cleanly shaven. Black Widow still has her old hair, and he says, "This is the fight of our lives." And they pan to an image of him looking at Peggy Carter. So Peggy Carter has been dead for a minute now. She's been dead since Civil War, and this could mean 2 things. One, it could mean that Steve is about to do something that could cause him to sacrifice himself as a character and for him to actually do something crazy. Or the even bigger theory, which that there's some type of shift in time, and that maybe somehow they do some type of time travel scenario, or something happens that causes them to have some major shift in time. So there's a high possibility that maybe Steve Rogers could be reuniting with Peggy Carter at some point. So at this point, Black Widow says, "This is gonna work, Steve." And he says, "I know it is, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't." What does that mean exactly? We have no idea. Anyone telling you otherwise is just coming up with a theory, but we have no idea as to what he means with that. It could be something with the theory that I just gave you guys about them doing some type of mission, possibly to try to figure out what's going on, some type of time travel scenario. I don't know how that's gonna happen. But as we see here, they're at the end of their rope here. They're at the end of their rope, and this is like the absolute last thing, because Steve clearly says, "I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't work," which means they have no other plans besides what's going on right now. So we get the official title reveal in the movie Avengers Endgame. So actually, a funny thing to point out too as well about the title Endgame was that Doctor Strange wasn't the first person to actually say it. I was looking around reading some articles and everything like that, and I came across this tweet of someone actually talking about the first time that Endgame was actually referenced, and that was way back in Avengers.
We're the Avengers. We can bust arms dealers all the live long day, but that up there, that's the Endgame.
He said that right up there, referring to the aliens and the crack in the sky. That right up there, that's the end game. So I don't know if that was intentionally planned from since back then. It's not hard to believe considering Marvel's track record, but Tony Stark actually says Endgame way before we even said it. And everyone's saying Doctor Strange said it, Doctor Strange did this, and I'm like, wow, the title was actually revealed to us way before. And then we cut to a shot of Steve and Black Widow looking at security cams, and then we see Scott Lang. So then Steve says, "Is this an old message?" Now he's obviously shocked to see Scott Lang. He's presumed missing alongside with everyone else. And then Black Widow says, "That's the front door." How on earth did Scott Lang come out of the quantum realm without the help of Hank Pym and Hope? One can say maybe he somehow remembers, or something triggers him to remember exactly how he got out of the quantum realm in the first place in the first movie. Because you remember, after Ant-Man, he did not remember how he got out. So it's quite possible that he was able to figure out some way to get himself out there. Because you remember, he at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, he says, guys, I'm ready. I got it. Can you get me out? hello guys, and he's calling everyone to try to figure out what's going on, and obviously they're gone, they disappeared. So he might have somehow, something possibly could have triggered him and triggered his memory to enable him to get out of that situation, very similar to how he got out in the very first time. Also, there's been a theory, again I forgot to mention this, about Scott Lang possibly being a Skrull, talking about maybe he's a Skrull take on his, I don't think it makes sense to really have a Skrull in this entire moment. I don't see the purpose of introducing a Skrull right now for that specific scenario. I mean, it's an interesting theory, but I don't think it really makes sense then, you know, for a Skrull to just be there out of all things. And then we get the official drop date. They moved the drop date earlier up to April, and that's it for this video. So that's my version of the breakdown, guys. If you enjoyed the breakdown, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I most likely missed a lot of things here. I'm pretty sure I did, but if I didn't, that's cool. If there's some things that I couldn't figure out, let me know, correct me, fact check me, whatever you have to do in the comment section down below. Let's have a conversation. But anyway, that, like I said, guys, this is my version, this is my breakdown of the trailer. If you guys enjoyed it, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Clockmaster out.